How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Looks like I forgot to add us to the stream. Terry, there we go.
Hi,
there's Terry. There's Rich. We're in the proper order today, I think, in terms of lining up where our names will line up on the list. So,
all right.
Hey, let me say, I just crack a little joke there, but we do 1,000% appreciate any input from the folks that are watching us, sharing the day with us, because I mean, we have one experience putting it together. You have another experience watching it. So any input that you can help make it a little better program, we certainly are open to any sort of suggestions, constructive criticisms, not, nasty stuff. We don't need any of that. But fortunately, we don't really get we don't really get much of that, Terry.
That's really good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's because of you. If it were just solely me, we would certainly be crushed online, no question. Speaking of crushing it, Terry did have a very nice day. Good pick 4 yesterday at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. So far this week, we have been able to put together a positive ROI day after day after day as a team and individually. So let's see if we can make it 4 in a row. Mr. Terry, what do you say?
Yeah, I say let's do that. And something that dawned on me is if you took my pick 4 yesterday and just added my top pick in the first race, you would have hit the pick 5.
Hey, well, unfortunately, life is full of ifs, Terry, right?
That's right.
Yeah, if I had a better boss at JD and Associates, probably would have been a billionaire. But in fact, he ended up being he ended up wearing an orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Last night on Horse Center with Julie and Sean, and I so apologize to Miss McKenna and to Julie. I got so wrapped up in doing the wagering guide, I forgot to put a video in there for them, and they had the video from the day before. So, Miss McKenna, Miss McKenna Anderson, I greatly apologize to you for that, and I will do whatever I can do to make it up to you. But what you can do is take a look at that show. It was a fun show last night, and I'm sure she was invited to Golden Gate Fields as always.
She was, yeah, absolutely. She's a West Coast girl. She came from Washington, was born and raised there, and the first place she rode was Emerald Downs. So I said, hey, since you're used to the West Coast, come on out here to Golden Gate Fields and ride.
Was she open to that or no? I'm sure she's open to anything that can make her money at this point in her career, right?
Yeah, she just said, wherever it takes me, that's where I'm going.
Well, wherever it could take you and you want to go tonight and make some money, perhaps that'll be Penn National. It is the free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link down in the description below. You see if you click on that tonight, the 5-horse in race number 1. Shoyo, that guy. He's the favorite to win that race, at least as far as we're concerned. And again, as I mentioned, you can get the wagering guide for the Pimlico and for the Black Eyed Susan. That is available now, as well as all of the picks for Friday and Saturday at Pimlico. I have to say, after going through all those races, I feel like Saturday's card is a little bit less. Friday's card, is a little bit less predictable than Saturday. I hope that both are predictable in terms of our picks. Again, you can get them down in the description below. Over at Belmont today, sunny and warm all the way through Saturday. So a few scratches. The track should be fast. The turf should be firm. And let's see if our picks are as good as they've been early on in this week in race number 1, where they will travel 7 furlongs. Terry, on maiden claiming to 20 grand for a purse of $35,000. The meet is just getting started, so there's really not a lot of data to work with. So there's only been one 7-furlong race. A tactical speed horse won that one from posts 2 and 3. Terry, our simulators for race number 1 suggest that the 1-horse and the 5-horse, Here Comes Scarlet, should battle for the lead early on.
Yeah, that looks like the 5 and the 1, and also the 7 on the outside. They should be battling. And the overlay is a really fairly nice overlay. It's under even money, like 2 to 5 or 3 to 5, something like that. And it's morning line odds is just under 2 to 1, like maybe 8 to 5. As far as the C zones, the 5 and the 4 look pretty good. So
just a real quick recap of what you're looking at here. For simulation odds, we take 1,000 races using the speed figures that are available. And then we simulate those using some math that I've learned along the way in the financial markets. And then based upon that, we calculate the odds. So the lower the sim odds, the better. We also use 1,000 simulations on early pace to see who will be at the lead. It's American racing, much of which is determined early on. So if you like front runners, this is a good place to find them. And of course, C-Zone, that's based upon early pace too. Again, another 1,000 simulations. And we're looking at where horses have performed their best and how this pace will match when they've run their best race. We'll also put together, a lot of work here, Terry, what we call the way to the winner's circle. It's a maiden race, so you don't really know how horses want to get there. The one horse has shown some early speed. Up front, the 6 looks like a pressure horse, so you want to look to see if either one of them will be on the lead. It looks like the 6 could be on the lead. Valentina might not be too thrilled if it does not get the lead, so maybe a little bit of discouragement on its way. Late speed, when they're coming down the stretch, Valentina does own that score over the 2 horse. Welcome to my world. And then, of course, you got the first-time starter over here with number 7. And then the 3, 4, and 5 in their race career so far, at least in the last 10, have not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish wire. So based upon that, maybe the 1, the 6, the 2 could be the horses to beat, Terry, although I have one of those never close horses on top.
Yeah, well, I like the 2. Welcome to my world is my top pick. She drops in class today, has the highest last race speed rating. She has a trainer wins 31% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The 1, Valentina, she drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating. She has a trainer wins 31% of the races when dropping a horse down 2 classes, and she's my second choice. Third choice is the 4, Excel Rose. She drops in class today, can improve while returning to dirt and to a sprint. And then here comes Scarlet. Is the 6 is my long shot, drops in class and has a decent workout. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to use the 1, 2, and 4 with the 1, 7, with the 4 as a single in the 3rd race, the 3 as a single in the 4th race, and then I'm going to go 2, 5, 8, 10, 11, and 12.
A lot going on with those singles in the middle. They get you through. They'll get you through to the winner's circle, especially with all the coverage at the end. Well, Axel Rose, the 4 horse. Welcome to the winner's circle. Wow! I think that horse is going to be your winner, Terry. And the reason I think it's going to be the winner is coming off a class drop, early race improvement in its last race. Going to flip back to dirt and going to shorten up distance on that one. Number 2, welcome to my world. Top last race speed figure, finished a well-beaten second at this level when it did run there. 3rd up after putting better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers. Another one that's going to cut in distance here. Another one that's switching back to dirt from turf for trainer Rob Autras. Does get a weight break, but the tell for me between the 4 and the 2 is on the 4 horse. The trainer Rob Autras is going with Kendrick Carmouche, who had ridden the 2 horse every time before that. And he's going with the apprentice jockey, Matty Oliver, with the 2 horse there with the weight break. I think he's going to put the more experienced jockey on the horse that he think has the best chance to win. That's Axel Rose. And then considering Kendrick probably had a choice between the 2 and the 4 and went with the 4 after riding the 2 all the time, I think a little bit of a tell for me. Valentina flashed some early speed for the first time last time out, in its first time after dropping from maiden special weight into the maiden claiming. And I think maybe you'll see the horse hold its speed even longer on the second drop in a row to 20 grand. Finally, here comes Scarlet. I like my good friend Trevor McCarthy on a horse that should close on the class drop. And Trevor does best on horses that do like to come from off the pace, at least in my opinion. He'll probably argue with me on that. He says he does best on all of them. I like the trifecta here with the 2, 4, with the 1, 2, 4, with the 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Now, in New York, are they a little bit on the timely side, Terry? We got 1 minute to go to race number 2.
A lot of times they circle. So,
all right. Well, let's go ahead and take our chances then, Mr. Terry, with an eye on race number 1. Okay. In the second race at Belmont in Elmont, New York, 1 1/16 mile, claiming 10 grand, purse of 28. 4-year-olds and up, non-winners at a race at a mile or over since November 1st. They get an extra 3-pound weight break in this class. 1 1/16 miles, Terry. Again, the track is just kind of starting out. 4 races. Early speed has won 100% of them. 2 out of the 4 went wire to wire. Post positions 2 and 3 have 3 of the 4 winners. The other came from post 4 through 7. So speed does matter in race number 2, particularly inside speed in the 2 and 3 spot. Doesn't look like either one of them is going to, because the 2 and 3 spot belong to the 3 and 4. Neither of those look like they have a lot of giddy up and go.
No, really, the 1, 5, and 6 have the most speed in the race. Who knows going to get there first? Not sure. The 7 has a really pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be under even money, and it's listed on the morning line as 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these horses have pretty good seat zones, except for maybe the 2 and the 5. So.
A couple of them might find themselves a little bit uncomfortable with the pace of the race today. As far as the pace set up here, you see you get 2 horses that want to be up in the front, Musical Heart and Mr. Winston. That duo is either a pilot, the E-type, or the EP type. So the 5 has a little bit more versatility. Musical Heart might be lead dependent if it wants to find the winner's circle. It does look like it does have a shot to be on the lead, although Swift Tap is going to give it all it can handle. And they come down the stretch to see which one will have the most late pace. Sometimes you'll find that the 5 horse, Mr. Winston, along with Caribbean, I don't depend on how you pronounce it. But the 1 horse shows up there again, Terry. So that means that 1 horse is likely to score the best in terms of the early speed, late speed combination. It did. It and Caribbean 5 points over Sir Winston. I would not be at all surprised to see the 1, the 7, the 5, or the 6 find the winner's circle, Terry. I think we both probably agree on that.
That's right. All right, so I like the 7 Caribbean as the top choice. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 29% of the time when he drops the horse down 2 classes. The trainer jockey combination has won 4 out of 9 starts in the last 14 days. The 1, that speedster, Musical Hearts, my second choice, drops in class today. Best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has finished in the money in 4 out of 5 races and won 2 of those. Swift Tap, the 6, is the third choice, ran second versus similar in his last race, has a highest last speed rating. He's tied with another horse, and the trainer wins 20% of the claiming races he has a horse in. And then number 2B, Don't Be Late, is my long shot. He won his last race at Aqueduct. I'm going to play a 50-set pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-7 with the 2-4, with the 1-3-9, with the 2-5, 8, 10, and 11.
I'm going to go ahead with 7 Caribbean. It's going to drop in class after tying for the top last race speed figure, and this is its best distance. 12 races, 5 wins, 3 seconds. Musical Heart, the 1 horse, early speed with Kendrick. That's a phenomenal combination, one that I like. 18 furlongs workout since that last start, should be fit. Swift Tap, the 6 horse, the other that tied for the top last race speed figure. And then Michelle Nevin Barn, been hot to start the Belmont meet. 7 races, 3 wins, a second and a third. I think it was about 43% win rate. Small data set again. Royal Realm, the 3 horse, maybe a horse for the course at Belmont. 4 times, 2 wins and a third. Put that horse on any other track, 17 races, only 2 wins, 3 seconds and 4 thirds. I'll do a pick 4, 1, 3, 6, 7 over the 2, 4, 5. I'm going to single the 3 and then the 5 and the 8 in the last leg. Race number 1 is about to kick off, Terry. So let's go back to our picks at race number 1. Let's see indeed how this race plays out. Right now, in the first leg, it looks like the 1 horse is the favorite. Right on the morning line. Congratulations to our good friend, David Aragona. Got that number right. The next horse up is the 2 horse. Welcome to my world. Just slightly the second favorite at 2-1, 3-1 morning line, according to David Aragona. Axl Rose, 5-2 morning line, drifted a little bit higher here to 3-1. Let's see if indeed that overlay, a little bit of an overlay there, works out in terms of what David Aragona thought. The biggest overlay belongs to the 1 horse, according to our speed simulating score. That said 3-5 is about the appropriate odds, and you're getting 9-5 on that one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so a bet on the 1 horse makes sense here, just from a probability and a math standpoint. Right now, the 1 and the 2 are co-favorites. The 4 horse catching a little bit of a late money too.
Yeah, I want to thank Rich Lane for his awesome comments about how I did yesterday. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And let's see how the first race goes. And they're all lined up in Belmont, New York on a beautiful sunny day. Maybe a little cool there because everybody's kind of got jackets and stuff on, I see. And Maybe that's just the gate crew. Maybe it's a little bit, well, I think it says it's 60 degrees, right? So they're off. And right now it's a pretty heated event for the front of the race here. It looks to me like the 6-horse actually got to the lead. Georgie's Lattice followed right behind by Valentina. And then you have the 7 and the 5 about a length behind. So Avika and Here Comes Scarlet. As they go through the opening quarter, heading into that first turn, George's Ladies continues at 9-1 to maintain the lead there. The 1-horse now trying to make its move. You got the 4-horse now coming up the rail. Let's see if it can cover that. Opening quarter, 22 and 91, so just a little under 23 seconds. Those first two have been working kind of hard up front there. Could open the door for a horse to maybe come from off the pace to run them down. Right now, that 2-horse, the co-favorite there, is kind of struggling in the back. Marty Oliver trying to get the horse to come now. You have on the outside the 5-horse. It's making its move up there as well. Kendrick looking for some room on the 4-horse. It's going to look like he's going to skirt down to the rail there, waiting for the rail to open up behind the 1-horse. Had to swing wide. Right now, the 1-horse is your leader. Question is, can the 4 or the 5 go back? They're kind of banging off of each other, opening the door for the 1-horse to maintain its winning position. And the question is, can anybody pass this 1-horse right now? It doesn't look like they're going to, but the 1-horse is definitely struggling. The 4-horse is trying to get there. I think it's going to go 4 and then 1 and then 5. 4, 1, and 5.
Good. That's better for my pick 5, and you got the trifecta. So that's good.
So yes, indeed. Welcome to the winner's circle, indeed, Axl Rose. I felt like it was a big tell with Kendrick getting off of the 2 to get onto the 4 for the same trainer. You had Matty Oliver, the 2-horse, who hasn't won yet in Belmont. It's a pretty good competitive place for a apprentice jockey to get work in there. All right, so we got the first race in the books. Let's see. It's chilly. I'm nearby in New Jersey. Hey, Scotty Z. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Hopefully we have some more winners for you as this day progresses. Race number 3, Terry, this one. You know, I was going to do a contest too, and I was going to put the 4 as my top pick in there.
Oh, wow.
It was 100. Well, I got there in time, but it was a $175 contest. And I only had like $168 in my account. I thought it was going to be one of those $12 ones, right? And it said, you don't have enough money in your account. I was like, wait, what? And can you imagine if I had done it and then it was $175 and it wiped out my account?
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be 12. Boy, I would really be wanting to win.
That's right.
Anyway, enough stupidity from my side today. 1 mile in race number 3, claiming 10,000. The purse is 28 grand. Again, not the whole lot of data to work with. Early speed so far has been the way at the most common distance at the meet so far. 23% have gone wire to wire. You do get a rail bonus, so Trade Secret might play better than 6-1 morning line odds. 2 through 7 play fair. There has not been a winner yet from the 8 position or higher. In the third race, our early speed numbers look like they are going, well, there's plenty of speed in here that they're all going to kind of chase each other around.
Yeah, there's several of them, the 5, 3, 7, and 4. And, of course, the 8's not going to do much, I don't think. Anyway, the 2 is a little bit of a overlay. It's not much, just a little.
Fair value at the minimum.
Yeah. And the 4 also is a little bit. It's just under 2-1 and listed at 2-1. The C zones, the 4, the 7, and the 2 have pretty nice looking C zones. The rest of them don't have very good ones.
Yeah, the rest of them could find themselves in a situation that they are uncomfortable in. Let's look at the way to the winner's circle. You have the 3-horse in here, Gringotts. One's never been close, hasn't been within 5 lengths of the winner at in last 10 starts or however many races it's had. You do have a pretty balanced race here, although the 1 and the 6 are E-types. Again, E-types want to get to the lead, go wire to wire. At least so far, they've shown they are lead dependent. Neither one of them might get the lead. That could go to Twice Smitten, which could really discourage the 1 and the 6. Although if they hit the Jets, one of them could be up there, but they'll probably have to run a little bit too fast. As far as late speed, Carly Hustle and Twice Smitten have a good advantage over the rest of the field. And the early speed, late speed combination, a nice little 7-point advantage for Twice Smitten. Once they get to 10 points, you really, really, really want to put them in there. 7's a pretty close number. Maybe a good horse to wheel your exactas and trifectas around with Twice Smitten, Terry.
Yeah, I like the 4 Twice Smitten. It's my top pick, finished in the money in her last 4 races. She won one of those, and she finished second versus similar last race, earning the highest last race speed rating. Gypsy Janie is my second choice, the 2 horse. She finished third versus similar in her last race, was claimed by a trainer who wins 26% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Lots of boxes that she marks off. And then the 7, Valorand. She can either lead or come from off the pace to win a race, which is an angle I really like. And my third choice. And then my long shot is the 5 horse Carly Hustle. She drops in class today and has a good furlong workout on May 11th. I'm going to play a $4 exacta box with the 2-4.
$4 or $3? I see $3 on the screen.
Oh, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the 4 horse Twice Smitten in here. Third after a layoff, did show better pace and fractions in race number 2 off the bench relative to the first one up. So continued improvement in race number 3 off the sidelines. And Twice Smitten could be like the 4 horse in the first race, find its way into the winner's circle. Gypsy Janie, that 2 horse, steady effort without any fall off in the first up after some rest and time in the barn. What I mean by that is if you look at the pace numbers, they're consistent from the beginning to the middle of the end. There was no fall off at any point in the race. A second off the layoff record for the 2 horse, though, is a bit shaky, but this is the first time after a claim for trainer Robert Falcone, who wins at 26%. So you have a little yin and yang there. Number 5, Carly Hustle, some of her best workouts, getting prepped. In fact, I think that when you look through the workout tab, the last 3 were the best series of workouts that Carly Hustle has shown. It's the first race in 2 months, so maybe the horse found itself during a little bit of time off and self-reflection in the barn. Trade Secret, the 1 horse, high win rate rail, so far at least, coming to life in the second half of its last race. So let's see if that momentum can carry through to today. 50-cent trifecta, 2-4-5, over the 2-4-5, over the 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. And just a little bit update on race number 1. Go back to that one. Race 1, the exacta paid, hold on a second, to 4-1 exacta paid for $1.1630. That's nice for considering 2 of the favorites. Yeah. 50-cent try for they paid 4-1-5, paid $42.87. So I got most of my budget back today.
That's right.
As we have a $100 budget, so I just got 43% of it back. I don't think I spent all 100 either, but I was a few dollars short. And then 10-cent superfecta with the 4, 1, 5, and 2, which I do think were our picks across the board, right? 4, 1, 5, and 2. Yeah. Well, 4, 1, 5, and 2 for 10 cents, paid $14.87. So let's see if we can continue that. Good luck in race number 4. Oh, we did our picks, right?
Yeah, and Scotty Z likes in race 3, the 1, 2, and 4. I'm assuming he wants to box those for $1.
Or maybe he's an integrity player where he puts them straight in order, baby. 1, 2, 4. That's it.
That's it. Maybe a ice cold trifecta.
Yes, as Charles likes to do, and then Boopy and his ice colds. But he's kind of gone to boxing because his ice colds have been a little ice cold. 1 16th miles on race number 4 on the inner turf course, claiming 30 grand. Non-winners of 2 in a lifetime. The purse is a nice $41,000 in a mile and 16th on the turf. They've had a quartet of races. Tactical speed is 1. Most of them. 1 of the 4 went wire to wire. You had 1 win from post 2 and 3. 3 of the 4 came from outside posts, 8 and out. In race number 4, Terry, tactical speed's probably going to be the important way to get there. So maybe not the leader in champagne poetry, but maybe Rosemary or Lost Luggage or Heartburn, one of those could be in the right spot.
Yeah, although he does have the 7 has the most speed and should get to the quarter pole first. The overlays. The 1 is a decent overlay. It goes from simulated odds, and then goes to 5-1 on the morning line, and then the 7's a really nice overlay. It goes from just under 3-1 to 8-1 on the morning line, and then there are several of these horses that have good season numbers. The 4, 8, 5, and 6 have pretty good ones.
Yeah, we both have the 3 horse that's scoring zeros and zeros across the board there. So maybe we should reconsider what we're doing.
Well, maybe.
Maybe we can find something over here that tells us why we both like that 3 horse. Well, this is a very balanced race. When I see 4 speed horses, 4 closers, you see one in the middle, that's 7, Champagne Poetry. That lone P, lone E, P, lone P. Anytime you see one by itself in a mix of others, you got to consider that horse no matter what it looks like on paper, because they generally get a good trip. Champagne Poetry might not be a pressure horse today. It could take the lead if it wants, but I think it'll probably sit behind some of these other speed horses, let them do all the heavy lifting, and then see if it can close the race out at the end, where it does have the most late speed, tied with the closers in here, Miss Christie and Bridgestone. Nice advantage over everybody else. As far as the early speed, late speed combination, Champagne Poetry does have a 10-point advantage over the next closest horse with Yogi and Joey the Fish, the 2 MTOs on the sidelines, because it's too beautiful today. Again, as I mentioned, you get a 10-point EP, LP advantage. That horse has to be in your picks in terms of perhaps wheeling for exactas or trifectas. Terry, I got him second. Looks like you don't like him.
Well, who knows? It might be one of my alternates. But number 3 is my top pick. She ran second versus similar in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating. And then I like 9 Heartburn. I
don't like Heartburn, Terry. You might like it. I'm not a fan.
Well, it can be scary at times, I'll tell you. But
especially when you get older, right? When you're younger, they're like, but had some pizza,
older,
I got some heartburn. Now you're like, should I call 911?
That's right. Am I having a heart attack? You never know. Mm-hmm. She showed her early speed, finishing third versus similar in her last race, and has a trainer who's wins 18% of the route races he's got an entry in. And then the one, Miss Christie, is my third pick. She won her last race, has a jockey who in the last 14 days has the record of 20 starts, 5 wins, a second and 5 thirds, and she has a bullet workout on May 9th. And then number 8, Lost Luggage. She ran second versus similar on the dirt in her last race, but the breeding suggests she'll like the grass, as her dams produce 1 dirt winner, and she drops in class. She's my long shot. I'm going to play $1, pick 3. It's going to be the 139 with the 2, 5, 10, 11 with the 3.
You have the 8 in there too, so 2, 5, 8, 10, 11 in the middle.
Yeah, that's it. 2, 5, 8, 10, 11. Yes.
I am going to start with the 3 horse too, the one that doesn't score well in any of our simulations. Alienate did score well last time out with the top last race speed figure. Just missed at this level, which was at Aqueduct, so maybe a little bit of a step up in class in terms of track. Did have a trip on this track and held the lead on Nest, a horse that many people are probably pretty familiar with. That race ended poorly. Well, he ended up finishing third by like 7 lengths. But obviously something went wrong in that race, because the horse was sidelined for more than a year. So, I mean, that Nest is a quality horse. I think this could be a quality horse. Champagne Poetry, that 7 horse, does have the top early pace, late pace ranking by 10 points, taking a substantial drop in class on top of that with Champagne Poetry. But it's been a mixed bag on its 2 races on the grass. Lost Luggage, going to go to turf for the first time. Jockey Javier Castellano doesn't get enough credit, but he's a really excellent turf jockey. But I'm not a fan, though, of that Parks to Naira track riser. I love it the other way around. Yeah, I'm really, really, really hesitant to put horses in there coming up I-95 from Philadelphia to New York. Miss Christie, the 1 horse, is the final choice here. Another one, too, that ranked kind of higher, looks good on the simulation odds, but it's only coming off a maiden claiming $25,000 win at Gulfstream Park, and then nice workout at Delaware Park. Again, it looks to me like the horse is facing tougher class than it has, and I would have liked to seen that workout against better horses at Belmont than at Delaware Park, but you do have Jose riding, and he's off to a good start. I'm going to do a try, the 3 over the 178, over the 1, 4, 5, 7, and 8 in race number 4. The 5th on this 9 race card at Belmont is 7 furlongs on the turf course. I think we have a couple of those today, 7 furlong types. Terry, let's catch up a little bit on the comments here. It looks like Scotty thought it was kind of funny that he was going to do the ticket of integrity. So he's working on a pick 4. So we're looking on that one. Or pick 4s. Let us know. And I guess he got a kick out of us worrying about heartburn or or heart attack.
Yeah.
It's a big difference between burn and attack, I think.
That's right.
Yes, I will take the burn any day. So this allowance $50,000 race with a purse of 65 grand finds in the 4 races that stalkers and closers have been the way to the winner's circle, as none claimed the lead and claimed the crown. You had post position. You had 2 winners from the rail. So run, runner, ready. That horse might do better than its odd show just because of the rail. You have 1 from posts 2 and 3, and then 1 from 8 and out through 4 through 7, looking to represent for the first time. Terry, speed doesn't matter in race number 5, as a horse hasn't gone wire to wire yet. So maybe Lola Flow and Solib get out there, or even Run, that one horse on that hot rail. Maybe they can change. Maybe they can change that today.
Yeah, there's the speed on the inside and the outside. So the 1 in the 12, and then you got 1 right in the middle on this with the 7. The overlay, the only one I really see is the 12, and it's supposed to be like 9-2, and it's listed at 6-1 on the morning line. As far as the C zones go, well, look here, it's the 12, 7, and 5 that have the best C zone numbers.
Yes, indeed. Again, we talked about in race number 5, speed doesn't really matter. This is a pretty balanced race. 3 in the front, 3 in the middle, 3 in the back. A lot of times you see this structure, it's going to be pace dependent. So if they go fast, then the 9, 11, and 12, their chances to get doused. If they go and the 1, 5, and 8 come into picture, if they go too slow, well, these guys in the back would really struggle. We talked a little bit about the early speed. Who's got the most of it? It is going to be Lola Flow, that 12 horse, a 5-point lead over the next closest horse, although it is on the outside, does have some time to make that turn. So should it have the ability to clear if it wants to. There's plenty of early speed in here. So this race could be a little bit competitive up front. As we mentioned, late speed has been the way so far. Up her sleeve with a 6-point advantage over Perfect Senorita. So every guy's dream, right? The Perfect Senorita. And then finally, the early speed, late speed belongs to that 11 horse, Perfect Senorita. Hopefully, I don't have Perfect Senorita in my picks here. I know you do.
All right. Well, I like as my top pick. First, I like to say this is a really wide open race. But anyway, I like Maddie's Grace, the 10. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and earned the highest last race speed rating. Bella Princesa, number 8, was beaten only a length and a half in her last start, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. She's my second choice. Bustin' a Bullet, number 5. She ran second in her last race at Aqueduct and has the favorite, but has a trainer who wins 20% of the races when bringing back a favorite to race again. And that's my third pick. Long shots, the 11, Perfect Senorita. She finished third versus similar on the dirt in her last race after a very, very slow break. And then she won the race before that. So I'm going to give her an excuse for that last race. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to use the 2, 5, 8, 10, 11. I'm going to single the 3 in the 6th. I'm going to single the 4 in the 7th. Then I'm going to use the 1, 5, 6 in the 8th and the 2, 8 in the last leg.
Yes, Mr. Terry hammering the singles in his vertical bets today. And I also like in this spot the 8 horse in here as my top pick. You have it as your second choice. Bella Principessa. I guess that is a reference to the movie. It's a Beautiful Life. If you haven't seen it, it was a really good movie. No question about that one. It's all subtitled, so not in English and Italian. Did show much better in terms of its pace figures across the board last time out. A really quick turnaround here, too. This horse ran on May the 12th. Today is May the 18th, so 6 days ago. And not only that, are they going to turn it back around, but they're going to shorten it up a little bit. So I think that combination, that tells me this trainer really thinks this one's, busting at the bit to go out there, score the W for him. Speaking of it, Bustin' Bullet, beaten favorite last time out, but not too disappointing as the fractions were considerably faster. Did have a maintenance workout in between races to keep that sharpness. Stephen Covey's sharpening the saw. This has a chance to be better in round 2 off the bench. Number 12, Lola Flow. This one's been off since July. Does have some really good workouts. Nice string of pattern in there, but I do like the fact that it has a bullet and go. So the last workout before going back to the track after an extended time off was a really good one. The only question for me, though, is the first up. It might need a race or 2. If not, if this one's ready to go, I wouldn't be shocked to see it perform well. And then finally, the 2 horse upper sleeve. I'm going to go with Javier Castellano on the grass again. In race upgrades all across the board. And the resume says the second off a layoff should top the first off a layoff. This is another one where I think cutting back in distance is going to be beneficial. Trifecta 5, 8, and 12. The 5, 8 with the 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, and 12 in race number 5. I think we still have time to cover race number 6, right, Terry?
Oh, yeah, there's still 7 minutes.
Oh, we might even get through race number 7 then. No question about that. If we can hustle up. Excuse me, I should have hit the cough button. Somehow I got a little coffee there. Again, 1 mile. This one's optional, claiming 50,000, non-winners of 1. Purses are nice, 95 grand. So they're going to run for a little bit in this 1-turn mile. Turns it a little more of a sprint than it does a route race. Talked about early speed indeed being a factor, as 23% of the horses go wire to wire. Fireline could benefit from a rail bonus. 2 through 7 have played fair. Again, as we said, nobody from 8 or out has found the winner's circle yet. So inside speed in race number 6, Terry, could be the magic formula. Maybe Tough Street, the 3-horse, has enough to get around the track and stay there.
Yeah, it shows the most speed. It's really a lot of speed. So unless it has some problems getting out of that gate, should get that quarter pole first, although 7 might have a little something to say about it. The 3 has the best one of the overlays. It's not too bad. It's just under, I guess, about 4 to 5, and it's listed at 2 to 1 on the morning line. The 5 has a really nice overlay, listed at 8 to 5 in the simulated odds, and it's 6 to 1 on the morning line. C-zone numbers, the 2 and the 4 have the best looking C-zones.
But still not strong numbers at only 44.5% in terms of trips that they should be comfortable with. In the short field, 7-horse, Vienna Code, hasn't been within 5 lengths of the winner recently, so maybe you can X that one out of your picks. Maybe a good idea. I mean, if you can shorten the field even shorter, it can't help. The 2, the 4, and the 5, they want to close. So the 1 and the 3, those 2 should get their way up front. The question is, how much faster are they than everybody else? They're really not a ton faster. In fact, Vienna Code could be cheap speed and really put the pressure to them. Really won't affect either one because they're either P types, so pilot or co-pilot with the 3-horse, Tough Street. And then you have a co-pilot with Fireline. So they're not going to be uncomfortable if they're not on the front. Toned up. Boy, that guy is toned up when they come running down the stretch. A pretty strong late pace number there. Short field, though, I don't think you can get too far behind if the fractions aren't too slow. Then finally Toned Up and Tough Street have the best score. If you look at the early speed, late speed, the only one that looks like it might be out of its league here is Fireline, but that could be more a reflection of its debut where it kind of went haywire. Terry, you like the 3-horse. You singled them up across some other picks, and you're going to single them up again here.
That's right. Well, Tough Streets finished 3rd in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Those are a lot of boxes. And number 1, Fireline, the one you said might not do well, but she won her last race easily, but she's been off for 6 months. So she's got to show what she can do here. She's been working regularly for her 2023 debut. Number 5, Tone Up. She may improve while returning to the dirt. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, has a high percentage winning jockey. My 3rd choice. My long shot is a 2, Lay the Groundwork. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race and has the highest last speed rating. I'm going to play another pick 3. It's going to be $1 pick 3. I'm going to use the 3, and then I'm sorry, in this.
I think you meant the 3. So you had the 4 there. I'll correct it. So you got the 3, 3 over the 156 over the 2-8.
Yeah.
And Scary Creations joins in and says that Fireline won by 13, geared down. All the numbers are low because of that. They also had a funky debut too. So I think those numbers kind of got discounted as well a little bit. My concern with the horse is a little bit of time off in there. And sometimes, you got to look at the debut and see how it did in the debut. And it kind of struggled in that, but I have it in there. I think it's a tough call between the 1 and the 3 in the short field. If the 1 is ready to go, I do think it can absolutely demolish the field like it did in its last race. But Tough Street's going to step up in class. I think it can get to the front, and if it's going to win, it's going to have to stay there. Number 1, Fireline, as Scotty Creations mentioned, did demolish the field in the maiden score, but that was way back in November. The works are steady and the works are good, so I like to see that. And I also think getting the addition of first-time Lasix will act as a Monster Energy drink times 10. Toned Up is moving down in class, flipping from turf to dirt, shortening up all sorts of reasons to think it might live up to that simulated odds favoritism, but just doesn't like to win, particularly at the distance. 12 races, has 2 seconds and 4 thirds. So I think third with these fields is probably where that one goes. Finally, lay the groundwork. The 2-horse has a couple of speed figure increases in a row, which culminated in the top last race speed figure. This horse has some pretty good late pace in here, but the question is, will it be able to run down the horses in front of it as the race comes to a close?
And I need to make a change on my pick 3. It's actually supposed to be the 1-3-5 with the 4 as a single with the 2-8-7.
So go ahead and make that change.
Yeah, I'll do the change. So, okay.
A little bit different than what you have on there. So let's see what we got. We got 1 minute, and last time they were a little bit slow. So we probably can get to race number 7, and then it's a 9-race card. So let's see if we can run our way through race number 7 as Terry makes changes to his pick 3 there. 7 furlongs, optional, claiming 80 grand, a purse of 105,000. I think this is the one with that giant favorite in, if I remember correctly. At 7 furlongs, again, not too many races so far, just one. Was won by a tactical speed horse from post position 2 and 3. Our early speed numbers in the 7th race look like they are going to favor Following C. Yes, that is that 3-5 morning line favorite in there. Strong C zone, strong early pace leads. Terry, if that one doesn't get it, who will?
Let me get to my page here. In that race, the Following C is the top pick for me.
I'm talking about the simulations.
Oh, that's right. I'm all goofed up here. Let's go here. The 4 has all the speed in the world, and it should get out there. It should never even be caught, I don't think. So it also has a little bit of an overlay, not a lot, but quite.
Well, it looks like it should be like 1 to 10 versus
1 to 10.
More like 1 to 20. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get like even money, you're not going
to get even money.
No.
If you get even money, it's because something's wrong with the horse, and the people on the track know it.
They all have decent C zones, except for maybe the 3 and the 5. So
yeah, in the 7th race, it does indeed look like the 4 is the lone EP, but everybody else wants to be behind it. It does have a pretty aggressive early pace advantage back in its days when it was running. 4 points advantage, but everybody else could be pretty tight in there, except for maybe Chesterton. Also has the strongest late pace in here by 5 points. The early speed, late speed combination is 10 points above the 3-2 zone. Terry, you think that 4 horse is going to get to the front and never give it up because you kind of tipped your hand?
Yeah, I do. I think that, of course, there's no such thing as a lock. But in this race here, Following C, on second versus tougher in his last race, drops in class today, can improve at the shorter distance, has the best speed, dirt speed among today's runners. And then number 6, Gunnet, is my second choice. He ran second in his last race, switches to high percentage winning trainer. Lender Rice, and the trainer jockey combination the last 14 days has won 4 out of 9 starts with 2 thirds. 3-2 zone. The 3 horse, my third pick, has the highest speed figure at today's distance and a good workout on May 11th. Number 5, Chestertown. He finished third in his last race and has a trainer wins 23% of the races when taking a horse from a route to a sprint. I'm going to play a $4 exacta with the 4-6.
So Following C, mentioned, the guy been off for more than a year. Before that was a legitimate graded stakes quality horse. If he's ready, he lives up to the short price, be it the simulated odds or David Aragona's morning line. 2-3 zone, first time gelded, and since he's been snipped, those workouts have improved a lot. Number 6, Gunnet. Been working pretty quickly at Belmont Park. A fan of the distance, just not winning. 7 times out, 1 win, 4 seconds, and a third. You have Jose Ortiz and Linda Rice teaming up, and so far, those two have been hot together, winning 9 of 21. And then Chesterton had a really nice race last out, cutting back in distance at Belmont 6 times, a couple of seconds, a couple of thirds. Forgotten the last race to go through my pick 4. So I'm going to do 1-3 with the 4-5, with the 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8, with the 1, 6, 8, 10, and 11 in that last leg, kind of opening it up. I think race 2 is about to get started, Terry. So let's rewind back to race number 2 and see how this race plays out. Yeah, they're circling behind the gates. Looks like they're about to go in for race number 2. Let's put that back up. So we got race number 8 and 9, and then we're done after race 2, correct?
Yep.
All right. So let's just keep that in mind. So right now, it's a pretty, looks like the 7-horse Caribbean, the one that you and I agree on, Terry, as the top pick in here. We've got the 7, 1, and 6, both of us the same order there. Looks like that one is the favorite at 1-1 right now. The 1-horse, our second choice, is 7-1. So we're both probably hoping the 1-horse probably overtakes them. The 3-horse, let's see, the two entry is a 5-1. That's next up. The 3-horse is 7-1. The 6 is actually the second favorite at 5-2. And then the 5-horse is 12-1. The 4-horse, according to the bettors, doesn't have a shot. Mm-hmm. That one is right now 45-1. So there's your winner, wow. The 4-horse. You better pick that one. American Lincoln does have a pretty good comfort zone score. You might think about putting that one, if you haven't done already, in the back end of your exactas or trifectas. I've seen way too many of those high C-zone scores clean up exactas and trifectas. I'll tell you the truth. Well, the 3-horse certainly didn't get a good break. It does look like they are going pretty aggressively up front. The 6-horse in here, Swift Tap, has taken a little bit of a lead, followed by the 1-horse, Musical Heart, who's second. The 2-horse, the first of the 2 entries, is in there third. The 5-horse now, Mr. Winston on the rail, trying to make his way forward as they were about halfway down the backstretch. The favorite, the 7-horse, is about 5 lengths off the lead right now. You have then behind that the 2-horse, the 2B, I think, and then the 4-horse, the one that's no chance to win according to the betting public. It looks like he's going to have a lot of work to do to prove them wrong. Coming through the opening quarter in 23-17 for 7 furlongs, the 6-horse, Swift Tap, maintains its lead, although the 1-horse now, Musical Heart, absolutely making its move. The 7-horse is trying to get involved, see if it can get the job done. But right now, the 6 and the 1 continue to battle it out. It looks to me like the 2B and then the 5 on that rail are going to come. So this race looks like it's between the 6 and the 1 right now. The 6 is maintaining its performance, although that 2B is actually making a pretty good move right now. I think right now that one actually looks to me like it's moving the best, to be honest with you. Though it is being pushed up the track a little bit by the 4-horse. The 1-horse, the 2B has taken the lead. It looks like the 7 now is going to try to get involved. I don't think it's going to find the winner's circle, but I do think it's probably going to rally for second maybe. So it looks to me like it's going to go 2B, then the 7, and then the 1. 2B, 7, and 1. So unfortunately, both of our pick 4s end up taking a nap thanks to the 2-horse. I think it was the 2-horse, yes. The 2-horse.
My long shot.
Actually, it was the 2-horse.
It knocks the 2, not the 2B then.
Yeah, the 2B I think came in 4th.
All right. Well, it knocks my pick 5 out too. So
I hate getting knocked out of the first leg. And I thought this race was a little open too. That's why I went with the 1, 3, 6, and 7. I think it was a tough guy. I think I had the 2B, the 2 as my next one in my picks, but you don't get to play them all, Terry, unfortunately.
No, you sure don't.
Let's see if we can go on to race number 8, make up for race number 2 in the 8th race. Mr. Terry, hold on a second. Let me come down here in race number 8. In the 8th race, this one is 7 furlongs on the turf course. 7 furlongs so far, 4 races. Stalkers and closers have won all of them. None have gone wire to wire. 2 of them were rail horses. One from post 2 and 3. So the inside 3 won 3 of the 4 so far, and then 8 and out on the outside for the remaining one. Speed doesn't matter, Terry, in the 8th race, but if it did matter, you probably would want to back the 1, the 5, or the 8.
That's right. It's anybody's guess who's going to get there, maybe head-to-head, all of them. There's no overlays that I can see.
No, that was the 2B that got up there first.
Was it the 2B?
Yeah, 2B got up there first.
My long shot then. Mm-hmm. What did it go off at? Did you see?
Yeah, 5-1. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. As far as the C-zones go, the 7 has the best C-zones, followed up by the 4, 6, and then the 8.
Our way to the winner's circle worksheet for the 8th race, we find, again, most of the horses want to close in here. So the 2 and the 8, if they can go up to the front and run some decently slow fractions, they might have a chance to get up there and stay up there. Although the 1 horse, which is typically a closer type, does have the most early speed, along with the 5, then the 4. So you have a bunch of left arrow horses in here with the 1 and the 5. A couple that typically like to be close to the back, but their normal giddy up and go should put them on the pace. The 7 horse, the 6 horse, and the 2 horse all share the strongest late pace number. So if the 2, which is an E horse, can get close to the front, will have the legs to maintain its upfrontness. And then finally, number 1, Mrs. Green. Looks like it has the top choice in here, although the 2 and the 9 are the only ones that are kind of, from an early pace, late pace standpoint, out of the picture. Terry, who do you think is going to win what looks like an open race to me?
I like number 6, Bohemian Club. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days have been in the money 100% of the time, winning 2 of those races. And now number 5 is my second pick, Breeze Easy, won her last race at Woodbine and has finished in the money in 4 out of 5 races while competing at Belmont Park in the past. And then number 1, Mrs. Green, she has finished in the money in her last 5 races, winning 2 of her starts and has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 9 is my long shot, Sell by. She has won 2 out of 3 starts at Belmont Park, ran second versus Tougher on the dirt in her last race, drops in class. I'm going to play $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 156 with the 2-8.
In this race, Terry, all these horses, I think if I remember correctly, are all coming off of extended layoffs. So it's a wide open race. Nobody's really shown any recent form. It's kind of tough to figure out what you're going to get here. Based upon past form, Bohemian Club has been off since finishing third in the grade 3. The 2 horses that did beat that horse came back to win the next time out. So at least that was a key race. Number 2, Miss Carol Ann. The breeding here is just too good to ignore on that one. Last ran in the same race as the 6 horse did. That was back in November. Is catching first Lasix here. And the second start in the U.S. sometimes is a difference maker too. So I think the strong breeding, second trip over on this side of the Atlantic in the Lasix could be enough for the strong pedigree horse to find the W. Regal Realm, the 8 horse, wire to wire in her last race. 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row, and a fan of the turf. 5 races, 2 wins, a second and a third. Concern is to step up in class, but hey, that's the price you pay when you win. Number 5, Breezy Easy. Hard call for over the 1 horse, Miss Green for me, as all of these, as I mentioned, been off for a while. Between the 5 and the 1, looks like 1 might need a race, whereas Breezy Easy, that one has shown it can fire coming off of the bench. I got no money left, so I don't have to bet on this race, but I do have a lot of coverage in my pick 4. And then finally, the final race of the day, race number 9, is going to be a 6-furlong affair on the inner turf course, Terry. And you see so far, they've run this race 5 times. Stalkers and closers have won them. The post position, only one of those 5, by the way, went wire to wire. The rail so far has won 3 of the 5 races. You got another one from post 4 through 7, another one from 8 and out. There again, stalkers and closers, but one had a chance to go wire to wire. So maybe in this spot, another one could go wire to wire, and there's a few that will try.
Well, the 5 and the 3 will probably try to go wire to wire, but most of them have some type of speed. There's a really nice overlay on that one. It's supposed to be less than even money and simulated odds, and it's listed at 6-1. They all have pretty decent C-zone numbers, except for maybe the 7 and the 2.
And then finally, the last time we're going to look at race shape for today. We're going to see that a lot of these horses have never been close. The 2, the 4, the 6, the 7, the 9, the 12 in their tries to get the maiden win have not been within 5 lengths of the leader, not once at the finish line. The 8, the 10, and 11, they're going to give it a go for the first time. So the only 3 that have shown any interest in doing anything are the 5 horse, Queen over 3s, which is going to go from dirt to turf for the first time. And it does have the most early speed along with Gotham Gray. As far as late pace is concerned, which I think could be a factor in here, looks like My Cara Mine has a 10-point advantage over everybody else. Also rides that pretty aggressive rail. In the early speed, late speed combination, 5-point advantage to My Cara Mia Mine over Queens over 3s. And then you have, I don't even want to pronounce that one. And then the 7 horse, Mary Catherine. Terry, for the last time this week, who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to take a first-time starter, 8, Dreaming of Carly. She's the first-time starter, as I said. Breeding suggests she'll like the grass. Today's sprint distance also. She's trained by Linda Rice and ridden by Jose Ortiz. Then I'm going to take the 2 as my second pick. She finished in third and versus similar in her last race. Has a trainer wins 25% of the grass races that he has a horse entered in. And then the 1, My Cara Mia Mine, drops in class today. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. My long shots is 6, Gotham Gray. Switches to high percentage winning jockey. Has a trainer wins 24% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again. And I am out of money also, so no bet for me.
So my cara mia mind simulation says this one is a big overlay. Got that smoking hot rail to start off at 6 furlongs on the inner turf. Got Javier Castellano, as we mentioned, doesn't get credit for being such a strong turf rider. Horse is making its second start after a layoff and has a 10-point late pace advantage over the rest of the field. Let's do it. We're going to ride that hot rail again. Gotham Gray has the best pedigree score. That's one's for you, Boopa, excuse me. I know you like those pedigree scores. Has the best ones for grass. Exploded with its early pace numbers. I mean, its early pace numbers last time out were like stakes type early pace numbers and then faded at the end. Now it's going to cut back from 1 mile and a 16th to 6 furlongs. If it can run those pace numbers at 6 furlongs that it ran at 1 mile and a 16th, this horse is going to get to the front and ain't nobody going to catch it. That would make her the winner. Number 8, Dreaming of Carly. I don't think there's a whole lot to beat in here. It's first timer. We mentioned earlier how strong Jose Ortiz and Linda Rice have got off to so far at this Belmont meet. My concern is the workouts are just okay. They're not outstanding. Then I'm going to go with a bit of a flyer on the back end here. Purest Performance. 10 horse, it is 15-1. One of the longest shots on the board. The pedigree numbers are just 1 point behind the top pedigree horse in the field, which I think is the 6 horse, if I remember correctly, because I just mentioned that before. And if you look at the workouts, they probably are actually the best workouts for any of the first-time starters in here. And then it was either that or the 11, the other first-time starter. The Queens over 3s is another one that I considered making its first trip on the grass, but the trainer really from that first grass go, like I think was winning at 6%. So I'm going to go 1-8, 1-6-8-10, but I got more than that. No more bets for me. That wraps it up for our Thursday at Belmont Park. Our full picks look like this. In the first race, it did go 4 over the 1 and the 5. In the second race, the 2B collected it over the 7 and the 1. That was a nice trifecta if you went ahead and boxed Terry's 4 picks. Race number 3, obviously, coming up in just a moment. Terry, we won't be doing anything tonight for the Preakness. I promised my daughter I would take her to see Guardians of the Galaxy, so daddy's got to do daddy things today.
Oh, sounds like fun.
That should be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I of all the Marvel movies, those have been my favorites.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, Thomas is away, so there will not be a 4 and Friday tomorrow. A little bit of R&R for Rich after putting together the long, 15, 16 page, 17 page wagering guide. Again, you can get that at Guaranteed Tip Sheet for the Preakness and the Black Eyed Susan, Friday and Saturday, all together in one. You can see the link down there in the description below. Make sure you click on that so they know where you came from. And of course, Terry and I will be back on Monday, where we will cover parks again on Monday and Tuesday. And then on Bupa will rejoin me on Wednesday, as we'll be off on Saturday as well, Terry.
Yep.
Any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here?
Yeah, I want you to all go to YouTube, and if you haven't already, subscribe to it. Hit the little bell so you're notified about all of our different programs, because we have lots of them. Go to our social sites, Facebook, Twitter.
We have more
TikTok.
programs than the government.
That's right. TikTok and Instagram at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us thumbs ups and likes. Let everybody you know about us so they can come and see how great we can make their day.
Well, hopefully we can make their day great, right? At least we can maybe make them laugh once or twice as we discuss heartburn and heart failure.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. I want to thank Eddie Ping. He gave us some love over on Facebook. If you agree with Eddie, thumbs up are appreciated both on Facebook and on YouTube. Retweets on Twitter. And I don't know whether it is on Instagram or TikTok, but in any case, follow us there. The little things that you do on TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, the thumbs up, the retweets, it helps us with their algorithms and engagement. The better our engagement numbers are, the higher we go up when people go and search for us. So help us with those two. It's little things that you can do that help us, and we appreciate it no matter how you help us. Terry, that wraps it up for today, wraps it up for the week. It's been a good week. Let's hope that we can continue to close it out with a very strong, positive performance at Belmont Park. No matter what you're doing today, Terry, we hope that you do indeed have God's favor tomorrow at the Preakness or the Black Eyed Susan or wherever it is that you're going to bet. If you're cutting the grass, you're sitting back on the hammock with a drink, you're going to the beach, You got a lot of honey-do stuff, whatever it is, Terry. We hope it ends up in the
winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us this week, folks. Hope you have a fantastic weekend and a very successful day betting with the Preakness. See you on Monday.